The Big 12 conference title race is going just about as we expected to go in terms of chaos and teams beating up on each other and no one really rising to the top. I think the top teams are a little different than what we had going into the season. Like, I think those teams were Kansas State and Utah and Oklahoma State. And those aren't really the teams right now. Now it's Iowa State and BYU, and Kansas State is thrown in there a little bit. They've looked to have rebounded a little bit, so we'll keep them in there. But Iowa State and BYU were not expected to be in the positions that they are undefeated going into week 8. But I think where not a lot of people are talking about are the Texas Tech Raiders. And I think it's because they had a really rough start. They just barely won their FCS opening game. They won by a point, and then they got dusted by Washington State. But since then, they've been 4-0, and they have been looking pretty good, especially offensively. Barry Morton's been throwing for 200 to 250 yards a game, but that's not really their go-to. That's not their offense. Taz Brooks is the guy that they rely on to put up points and to move the ball downfield. And he's rushed for over 100 yards in 5 of the last 6 games. He's just a machine, scoring 2 or 3 touchdowns a game. So he is their offense, and he has been keeping Texas Tech in these games and winning these games. Right now, Texas Tech is 5-1, and they're 3-0 in conference. They are right there with the rest of the crew in the Iowa States and the BYU and the Kansas States in terms of being competitive for this conference. Now, there are a lot of other teams that are also in that mix, but I feel like Texas Tech is getting slept on a little bit too much. Now, on the flip side of that, their defense is horrible. They rank 133rd out of 134 in FBS in terms of their passing defense. So they are really struggling in the pass game on defense, and they are very gettable. That said, their remaining schedule really isn't all that concerning for the pass game. They have Baylor. They go to TCU, at Iowa State. I mean, TCU, Iowa State, they don't really scare you in the pass game. It's just when they get to the Colorado game that's when they're very gettable in the secondary, and Shedeur Sanders can really expose you there. But then they finish off with at Oklahoma State. No. West Virginia, not really. Garrett Green, maybe can scare you, but he's really more of a threat on the run. So I'm not sure how much that'll hold him back. I mean, being ranked worst in the country is really horrible. So, but they've been winning, and I think that's really due to their offense. I think they've built a really great culture there under Joey McGuire. They've been a team that going into the regular season for the past 2 years, everyone has been really, really high on, and they have just not hit that expectation. I think this year might be the year that they, overachieve on their expectations, and they reach that point that we thought they were going to reach a couple of years ago. And with a Big 12 conference that is wide open, and with the remaining schedule that Texas Tech has, they do not have Kansas State, they do not have BYU, and they do play Iowa State. That's a chance for them to show up there. So give me Texas Tech as a dark horse to really compete for the Big 12 championship game and make it there. Follow Big Body Ball CFB on all socials.